Global warming in the Arctic happens at 3 times the global average, so it goes much, much faster in the Arctic. This means that the Arctic region in many ways is in the forefront of change. The Arctic region got 3 things that the rest of the world needs when it comes to climate change. So it got fish to feed the world. We need to eat less meat. We need to eat more seafood. Number 2 is it got a lot of energy we need. So you got a possibility to have a lot of renewable energy. And then finally, it got the raw materials you need in the green transition to build wind turbines. All of this, all the companies that operate here are impacted by climate change. Shipping particularly. So you got more extreme weathers, but you also got more access. So we can sail to new places that we couldn't sail to before, but we're also challenged by the climate change. So it's a double-edged sword. The future is not what it used to be. It used to be that the Arctic was just this cold tundra that no one cared about, and that's clearly changing for geopolitical reasons. I will not say there's a race necessarily, but there's increased attention to the Arctic region. So more and more companies and also governments are looking north for the opportunities, because there's a lot of things that used to be far away from people that is now at the center of attention up here around the North Pole. So there are 8 Arctic states, but there are a lot more states that are interested in the Arctic region. China, India, Singapore, South Korea, Japan, they all have Arctic ambassadors and they all have research interest as well as commercial interest. Business is by nature international. We trade across borders. So the policy is quite strict. That is the 8 Arctic states that decides on the Arctic region, but they're also inviting other people in. So we see investments coming from China, but also coming from India, coming from UAE, coming from France into the Arctic region. So it depends what parts of the Arctic you're looking at. The biggest challenge for us is actually the lack of skilled workforce across the region. So finding people who wants to live in this cold and dark environment in many ways. So during the winter, we don't have the sun for 3 months. During the summer, we don't have any darkness for 3 months. So finding people who wants to come and work on the final frontiers, that's a challenge. The Arctic region is a pristine environment and you have to be careful. Normally we say we only leave footprints behind. We also have to remember that there's 2 things here. One is the Arctic region is the forefront of climate change. And we are seeing this as tourists, and then we go home and we spread the gospel, so to say, and say, we have seen the glacier melting and we know that there's an issue here. Another important point is also realizing the Arctic region is home to 4 million people. It's not just an unknown place for icebergs and polar bears, it's also home to people. So these are important messages for people to see, and this is what tourism can do, is they can take you to the home of these people, the home of the polar bears and the home of the indigenous communities, and then these tourists will go home and they will tell people about climate change and about the need to focus on the Arctic region.